All right, it is 6 p.m. on November 25th, 2025. We're going to open the administrative board meeting. Roll call, please.
Jen, here. William,
Here.
Nathan,
Here.
Chris,
Here.
John,
Here.
Patrick,
Here.
President Rick,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda, here. Clerk Lisa, I'm here. Deputy Erica, here. Public Works Supervisor Fergie,
Here.
Parks Lead Brody,
Here.
Attorney Mark,
Yes.
Engineer Pat,
Here.
Not here, speak up now. All right, on the consent agenda this evening, we have three items. Item one is the October 28th, 2025 administrative meeting minutes. Item two is bills payable warrant list dated November 25th, 2025 for a total of $725,317.52. And item three is outside meeting pay, which is a total of $100. If anyone wishes to remove any of these three items for further consideration, speak now. If not, we'll entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items, 1 through 3, inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to place items 1 through 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
William,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Passes at 6:02.
I move to adopt items 1 through 3 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to adopt items 1 through 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
William,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes. Motion passes 6-0 at 6:03 p.m. 6:02 p.m. All right, on to the reports. We don't need item D. On the reports to the officers. Under me, we have review and discussion of IDOT correspondence. I just lost his name.
Back.
Zach Oltmans reached out to me about reaching out to the state about putting a flashing crosswalk on our crosswalk at 72 in Junction Road, which we tried to do before, but I believe we got shot down by the state. So Zach asked me if I wanted to sign on the letter with him, so I signed on the letter with him. We sent it back and we got approval to do it. So that may be something.
Just when you don't expect it.
I got agreed to something. So
But we'll-
hopefully that'll
well-
be something Chris can work on.
Yeah, well, I'll have to look into the cost and check with Willard Hoffman about the engineering portion, because it looks like the state said you have to pay for it all.
They're not.
Is it
Shocker.
flashing pedestal, push button, the light flash?
Yeah, so when we looked at the solar ones last time, the exact same thing we looked at last time, but they didn't, I don't think they specified what we have to have.
No, I don't think they
Just-
did either. They just said it had to be engineered, which I think that's what they're looking at to make sure it's.
Of course, then we'll have to send it in for approval if we get it engineered, so then
Of
that's
course.
when the fiasco begins.
Any way to get Oakland County to help share the burden?
Oh, please.
Good
Who was that?
ask him.
Put his name on the paperwork. I mean, we can see how far he's willing to make his.
Of course, I guess we
If he spearheaded it, well, by all means, we can run it up to them.
We can ask.
Yeah. After we find out what the price is, we probably should ask
Yep.
if they could do it.
So.
No, I totally
Put his
agree.
name on a piece of paper, wants to fight for us, let's fight all the way.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a nice thought.
Does anybody remember what it, did we get it priced out the last time we?
I don't
Bigger times that now, though.
You roll the
Yeah,
bat?
didn't get that far.
No, never got that. far.
Inflation.
All right.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a long while.
Well,
50.
I'll contact you, Matt.
Okay. All right, moving on.
6-figure deal.
Lisa?
Price on safety.
any questions? Or,
I hear you.
I don't have any, that's all from the foyer, and then I have, the meeting schedule for next year.
We had this 2 weeks ago. We put it off till the whole board was here. We only had 3 members, plus me last time, says we want to make sure the whole board has a chance to discuss it.
Like, or what we discussed this with three.
No, this is not, this is no change. This is the current format we're under right now, is it not?
It is.
It is.
I can't make the second Tuesday,
What would work to put you here both meetings?
first and third, or first and fourth.
Doesn't
How about
matter.
second Wednesday?
That would probably work too.
Just do Wednesday, Tuesday? That way we keep it so Brenda can pay the bills.
The first and third, probably do that, but if you want to keep the second and fourth week of the month
I'd prefer to.
consistent, then yeah, I can do Wednesdays.
So you wanna do second Wednesday?
Well, does that affect anyone else?
I don't know, it's just gonna confuse me, but other than that.
So the,
Both of them, yeah.
the fourth would still be Tuesday, the second would be.
Would you? If you're gonna change the day, we should change them both to Wednesday. I don't care what day it is, and I don't care which week
Is
it is.
everybody okay with Wednesday, second and fourth Wednesday?
You won't see me anymore, but we'll get you somebody.
Well, wait a minute.
Well, damn it, now we can't do it.
It's,
No.
it's always the engineers and the attorneys that are the most. But
Matt, bother you on a Wednesday?
Wednesday's fine.
Now, the
Make
pizza-
Dan come.
The pizza
Dave.
place is still.
Who we want? We
Yeah,
want,
we gotta
Big
verify
guy.
the pizza place is open. I can't help you there.
oh. Stewart. Make Stewart come out here.
So with the
Wow.
change to Wednesday, since you'll be doing a change to the regular meeting schedule, for the, you don't have to take any action tonight because we'll need to adopt that by ordinance. So we can do that at your December meeting. When there's an actual change, to the regular schedule, it's gotta be adopted by ordinance under the Open Meetings Act, as opposed
there's no
to.
change.
Are you going to second and fourth Wednesdays? Maybe I misunderstood.
We're not changing our meeting calendar. There is no calendar established. for
So it'll be the new
We're
calendar,
just establishing the calendar. for
the next year.
Right, it's a change to your ordinary, long-standing, semi-long-standing schedule of Tuesdays. So the section 2 of the Open Meetings Act requires a change in the regular meeting nights or location or time to be adopted by ordinance, so. We can prepare that for your December meeting.
Pesky OMA.
So the president only for making a change to your approved schedule.
All right. We can't make it take anything further? Love that. Well, for December. All right, Brenda?
Thank you.
Yeah, I can change it.
Terms renewal. In the package.
I have some contacts in that industry. I did reach out and kind of view our proposal. The time level was high, and the feedback I got also believes it's high for our size village. However, our co-op insurance that we are in requires a 90-day notice to withdraw, which we are definitely under 90 days.
Are you saying our vote is moot?
No.
Not changing. Or if we do, we pay a substantial fee.
Well, we should look into pricing it next year then, because
So this year was almost.
that's all right, I understand, but
I have it on the calendar for next year already.
we'll let the finance guy do that.
Okay, that sounds great.
I got it.
Not a problem.
I make a motion to approve resolution 25-69, approving and authorizing execution of a commercial insurance policy renewal for the Illinois County's Risk Management Trust adopted by Broadmoor.
Who seconded?
John did.
William makes a motion to approve resolution number 25-69. John seconds. We already had discussion. Is there any more? What roll call?
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
Jen. Yes. William,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Passes 5-1 at 6:10. Anything further, Brenda?
nope,
For Public Works, pretty much, between us and Parks, we're getting finalized here for our winter move, switching shops, equipment, everything else, prepping for the whatever is coming this weekend, mini snowmageddon, whatever they're gonna call it, so. They cannot decide for the life of what actually is gonna hit us, so. But yeah, that's kind of the main thing right now is prepping equipment, trucks and making the move, so.
All right. Brody?
Not much for me, just finished up the, fall rehab on our fields and some neglected parts out here in the park. For seed, fertilizer, everything goes, so hopefully we'll see that pop in the spring. Project's still going day by day, and touching up some electrical, waiting on a few fixtures and stuff. That's all I got, ready to move.
Matt?
All right, project status report, the Junction Road Shoulder Stone project, Martin got that completed on the 19th. Even though there's no update this month on Harvest Gun Plat 10, I did get a call yesterday from Tammy, and she was kind of wanting to know what the procedures were for the sod inspection, and I was a little confused at first. She was talking about the yards and driveways, and I said, well, yards and driveways is, if the village is doing inspections, that would be their building inspector would be doing that. I said, we're handling the ditches, and she said, yeah, I want to make sure on the ditches that they, you know, if we need to call for another inspection, that I get it in, and she kind of wanted to know whether we were taking care of it or whether the village was taking care of it. And I said, well, sometimes we work it out with Brett and he looks at it or yeah, we'll take a look at it. But she just wanted to make sure that I told her, I said, if we haven't given you full clearance on the address, if the only thing outstanding is the sod, I said, you need to request that to be inspected before we can give you full clearance so you can get a clean CO for the house. So I just want to make sure that everybody's on board that you know, she needs to, I can tell her that she needs to formally request the sod inspection in the ditches and stuff, and that we need to inspect it, whether it's Brett doing it or whether we're doing it, and they get, you know, we can give you a letter that's saying that, you know, the ditch is fully accepted and.
Well, we're running out of time.
I know
I
she
shouldn't
needs-
say we're running out of time. We're running out of temperatures for me to comfortably say sod looks good and
Yeah,
sign
she
off.
said she was closing on one at like 598 Harvest Glen Drive, and I don't remember inspecting anything at 598 Harvest Glen Drive.
There's nothing on Harvest Glen. 203 was closing.
Oh, Autumnwood. No,
On
she's,
203 Autumnwood.
oh, I thought she was talking about Harvest Glen Drive. She must have just been
Meant
calling
Harvest
Harvest
Glen.
Glen. Okay, the lot number.
Yeah.
So. But I'll just let her know that if the sod hasn't been accepted, you know, based off our last inspection report, he's gonna need to request it through the village, and then somebody will get it inspected and you'll get, you know, a letter back that either accepts it or denies it, so. All right, the Gateway subdivision, contract 1, the water main connection west entrance is complete. They've pressure tested what they could on the 20th, and the bacteriological samples have been collected for the section that's in there. So I know Dale's working on the operating permit for that section. Obviously the east entrance connection across the road, as soon as the utilities get relocated and stuff, they'll be able to complete that bore and connection. The curb and gutter is all poured except for the 2 entrance sections. The light pole foundations have been in and conduits are ongoing. And then they're backfilling the curb and doing some final grading and topsoiling, soil work behind the curb. And then lot 1, they've got the water and sewer services been brought to the foundation. And when I talked to Dale today, it sounded like they were backfilling the foundation walls and stuff, given the weather that's coming, so. And then Oslet grant for the parks, the splash pad passed the startup test on the 31st. Scoreboard's been installed, topsoil's been placed, some temporary seating installed, until final rate, or final seating and stuff in the spring. And then, there'll probably be an extension for the contract and stuff up to April 30th and stuff, which is the end of the grant period, just to get the final seating work done in the spring for them, so. And, nothing there, nothing with my core. Dale has, Bill just received, Dale's, Frontier did a service permit, request. I don't know if anybody wants to go through all of his comments, but he had several comments on his initial review that they're gonna have to, address, and stuff on their construction drawings, so that's kind of back in Frontier's court to get, a resubmittal and stuff there. And then, SurfNet just came in with a request, last week, and Dale's starting that review now, so. And it sounds like in talking to him, like, I think you've done a kind of an initial
Yep.
review, cause I think they incorporated some of your comments already.
I've already made some changes.
Yep,
Yes.
and he's got a revised set that he's gonna start looking at,
Yep.
so.
And I started going through the other sections, I guess you could say, SO 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. So I started looking at those today, and it looks like they've done some shifting there possibly as well to get off the water main side. So,
Yep. And that's all I've got.
All right, one of the committees and Jen?
Has the community Christmas party on Saturday, December 6th. Gives you from 2 to 4, and Mrs. Claus will be there, we'll be doing crafts and games. Cookies and hot chocolate,
Do you need help?
I will take
December
some help, I can, yeah,
I'm sorry, what date did you say? December 6th?
December 6th.
Thanks, thanks.
Beautiful.
No, they did.
Anything further?
No, that's
All right, then we're moving on to finance, William.
Oh, not having an emergency. So,
Not yet, Lisa. Anything further? All right, the parks, Nathan?
I'm not asking for anything this week.
Thanks, we appreciate that.
Chris?
First, I've never heard back from Rolling Meadows on their lights, so till I do, we're not gonna do anything with that. I got a call from somebody who lives on White Birch, that name of the road, about the 2 new foundations that went up almost directly behind my house. Cause they left apparently, he said, a ton of dirt on the road or mud on the road and debris from the construction site, which I then called Fergie and asked him what we could do. I'm still not 100% what our response is to it. Did they ever come clean it up?
yes, and yes.
All right.
But yes, it was a little bit to get it done because I guess there was some communication issues on their end. And I reached out to Andrew yesterday, and he got back, and they were supposed to be here at 9 o'clock this morning to get everything swept. That and Autumnwood, where the 3 foundations are there.
All right.
So he assured me.
So if any residents, have issues with it, give us a call and, we'll call the builders and ask them to, I guess, to clean it up because the guy said it was bad. I couldn't see from my house, but, Fergie went out and took a look at it. The other thing is the resolution for the change order 2, did we ever have a resolution for the first one? We did that? And we approved that? I'm wondering why we have this then.
That's something different. That's not, that doesn't have to do with this. That change order is different from.
Well, this is the first change order that would have been to it. Or I don't know, maybe it's not the first. What number is this? Then this isn't the first, but this has to be one of them, right?
This is related to the time delay. This one,
No, I understand that,
Yeah.
but what number change order is this? Because,
ooh, good question.
we have number 2 for the paving, which I actually would have thought was behind this because we talked about this one first. which we don't have on the agenda.
Okay, so.
No, that's all right. I mean, we talked about this last week. I'm just saying they're waiting on us, I guess. The construction companies.
Well, as long as, I think at this point, as far as passing any change order, it's as long as the board is good with doing the construction for the building and everything next year, then, you know, when we get these change orders processed, so it's not gonna make it.
Well,
Want to address that first?
Yeah, let's just talk about this one first.
So you got this paper on your desk with what we talked about 2 weeks ago, for those that were here, but again, we put this off to make sure the entire board was here to make this decision.
Yeah, we should have had the copy of this one, or at least for ourselves, so we could reference it when we talked
Right.
about it. And what the options were, and the members who were here, we decided that we would choose option number 3 and delay it by 50, because that's the best option for us. If we did option number 1, 55,000, there's no guarantee that it wouldn't still heave and you wouldn't still have issues with it.
For those that weren't here, for those that weren't here, the concern is because of the delays we had in construction from the state and from IDOT and everything else. If they pour the concrete, which if on your picture, it's the yellow that goes around and the orange, it's actually like an apron that sticks in that they build the building on. Their fear is that over the winter time, it can heave. So our options were to dig around there and put stone in for $55,000. Take the soil out, put stone in, but that's no guarantee it's not going to heave.
Right.
The second option was to heat it with LP because we won't have natural gas there for 5 to 6 months.
Yeah, that was the other problem. Part of it was it may not have made, IDOT may not have totally been fully
I'm gonna blame
responsible here. It got pushed back because of IDOT for access, but at the end of the day, in order to construct it the way it was originally designed, the anticipation was we'd have heat in the building through the winter time, and we're not gonna have heat in the building.
So we could heat it with LP heat. It's gonna cost $104,000 estimate. We could heat it with electric heat, which is $247,000. Or we delay the construction until April for $57,000 because labor rates are gonna go up at the first of the year with contracts. On the other side of that is there was some materials, some unsuitable materials that we didn't run into as much out there as they thought they were going to. So that would actually save us $53,100. So it'd only be about a $4,000 increase. The delay till April.
Assuming you choose option number 3.
If
Either
we
way,
choose option 3.
either way, that is 53,100 would come off of any option.
Right.
The best option is option 3, because that way we have no risk of the heaving at all. There is a footing already put around there, right? Concrete footing.
Yep.
So this would be over the top of the footings themselves, and then they would later pour the actual foundation
Yes,
for it.
yes.
All right.
Cause if they didn't
Is
design
that
it the
clear
way
as
they
mud
did-
for everybody?
This is just a partial slab that goes in the building that they gotta build the building on.
Yeah. Yep. The walls and
The
stuff.
slab.
Yes.
It's for, not the structural engineer, but what I got from our structural guys, it's for wind. So the foundation doesn't tip.
Right.
They could have done it with a much wider footing, and stuff, but then you're excavating out a big wide footing and putting in there as opposed to excavating a narrow footing and then putting this kind of you want to call it a partial slab that's tied to the foundation wall.
I assume this is much more cost effective.
Yeah.
And then when they come in to do their build out, the area inside the yellow is where they do their build out. And then that gets covered in concrete as well.
Yeah.
Does it help with that financial planning?
Yes.
And what option 3?
That's what we thought everybody's gonna do, but 2 weeks ago, again, having half the board, we wanted to put it off till we had an entire board
Yeah.
here to make that decision.
Except for we can give them direction, but we can't make a vote because there's
Right.
no resolution.
They're waiting on us to make the decision to delay it. So that they can close it down out there. So
Maybe the simplest thing to do, Chris, if everybody's okay with it, if the board's okay with the delay till next year, then I'll just have Dale consolidate this into a single change order, so we basically have the right numbering for you, and stuff as well.
When you,
So, let's stop again.
yeah,
But what we found out after we've talked about delaying this is that also the asphalt cost is going to go up next year. They had the option to possibly put the road in this year, but we don't want the road in if we're gonna be running all that construction traffic over it. So we'd prefer just to wait and put the asphalt in next year.
I love how they're projecting dramatic price increases for next year already.
Well, you know, the labor's going up
Oil,
first
everything
year.
else that, we're supposed to be, lowest in history.
Well, we could have paved the road. I personally don't think it was a good idea.
I would
because-
assume, the first of the year, your locals are all gonna get their raises that kick in, and that's where our costs come from.
I think it worked out to
No.
$3 a
So-
ton.
Yeah, it was.
So we're holding off on asphalt, like asphalt done a couple layers, right?
Yes,
Okay, so my understanding is a lot of times when there's construction going on, they do a single layer down first. I've seen.
They're not gonna do that, I already asked.
Wouldn't that?
They would have to mobilize twice and it would still be more expense. It's better not to put it in period, and that way you don't have any heavy construction over it and the rest.
It will be guaranteed more money, or we think because of the extra stuff?
Well, we know exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be $8,463.82 more if we wait, which
How can they pass that along if they bid a project?
they estimated,
asked that question, but.
we asked them.
Most of it, even the stuff on the building construction, and Dale can they'll get the breakdown, but most of it is literally just a lot of labor. It's really not.
And it was
anything
$3 a
extra.
ton extra.
That doesn't answer my question.
What's your question?
No, well,
If they bid a project with an end product. And they put a price tag on it.
Because we're asking them to delay it. Otherwise they would,
Asphalt price.
yes, we're asking them to delay
I mean,
putting down the asphalt. Otherwise they would have already done it.
I mean, when we bid it in February, the intent was technically the project would be done this year, was the intent. Obviously, we've had some things that have prevented us to get it completed this year. So it's kind of, basically for the most part, especially for contract 2, which is the lot work,
Hey, you can cross your fingers that we have it done next year.
they haven't really done, basically they've gotten the foundation pretty much.
Yep.
And that's about it on the entire contract.
And not all of the foundation, because obviously we're holding off on.
Yes,
But they're actually two different ones anyway. Isn't
Yeah.
the infrastructure's the one side
Right.
and the building's the other? So these are separate contractors. is
oh,
what
we
we're
can
asking.
get the.
And to answer
Dale
your,
was supposed to provide us with the cost, because the other thing we had a problem with is the tenant that we're expecting to move there is
All the windows.
up for sale. If the person that buys it, they gotta buy a company, they gotta buy the equipment, they gotta buy the build out, and then they still have to move the business. If that doesn't happen, we're stuck with a 6,000 square foot part of the building with a single door.
Yeah.
So we asked Dale to work up the prices for. What we were looking at putting in was, in that section, that 6,000 square foot, there's room for 5 doors. We asked Dale to work up what the cost would be to enter the center door and to add the east door.
So there would be,
Because
there would be 3
In
doors.
the off chance that the new owners find out that it's more expensive than they thought, and they can buy the business and leave it where it is. We are not stuck with a single 6,000 square foot place, and we don't have to tear down part of our facade to put up new doors. Yeah, it all hits at once.
We haven't got pricing.
We don't
for
have that
though.
price yet.
No.
no, I think Dale sent you the layout where the
He
Front
did,
doors
and that's
at
what we,
where-
and that's what we asked.
where the, where the 3 doors would be
Right.
located.
Right, so it'd be the west, center, and the east
Right.
most.
Yep.
That's what we
So we
asked.
could break it down into
You
any
wanna
combination in
relay
that
that to
6,000
him?
square
Yep.
feet. But I think we'd be better off being prepared for that than to be caught off guard by it.
Well, that way if the people who are slated or were our first possibility falls through, we can rent it out to multiple people if we have.
And if they still want it,
They lock
they put the emergency hardware
Right.
on the doors and.
Right.
keep
Well,
on.
it's nobody's to say that they're gonna stay there forever anyway, so you could always then you have the option to rearrange the interior. That's up to them,
So we're waiting on that cost yet.
or whoever owns the building after we sell it and whenever in the future. Hopefully I'll be long gone by
So
then.
hopefully in 2 weeks we'll know.
and to answer your question, Nathan, I did ask when I was asked about the asphalt. First thing I said was, are we just gonna do the binder lift and leave the surface until the next season?
Right.
You do see that is very common in developments.
Right?
And the answer was they want to pave it all one
understand
time.
what we
Correct me if I'm wrong,
want,
Matt, but
but-
that's what I was told.
It's what it was bid for.
Yeah.
So if they didn't
Yeah.
bid to do it that way, then,
It was also bid to get done this year,
But,
so when that's not getting.
but we're
done,
asking
we-
them
but
to
that's on
delay it.
us.
It wasn't their fault it's not getting done this year.
Right, it's ours.
Right, I understand that, but it's also. Yeah,
No.
or ours, I mean, this is an unforeseen situation between all the stars that.
Us and our
And I'll be
delayers.
honest, with it being brand new, with the utilities being dug in, the open trenches, the water main, the sewer, everything else. I think it would be good for that project to sit through a winter
Let
and
it
allow
settle.
settling. Especially if we're putting on binder and surface mix. And I'm not a huge fan of putting the surface mix on a project that is barely even started. The amount of equipment and abuse it's gonna take
Agreed.
is going to be ridiculous once things get going.
Yeah,
So I was not a fan of that.
Well, okay,
but here's the thing too, we are only putting one building in out of how many buildings that can go on over there. And so we're just gonna, and we're putting this building in the back of the sub, there's gonna be a lot of driveway that gets to the other
Yep.
buildings, and we're gonna tear up that section of the road when we decide to do that, whenever that time frame.
we're not gonna do those. Those will be
Those are hopefully-
whoever buys the lots will be doing that.
But the roads are our responsibility.
That's correct,
They tear
correct.
apart
When
roads.
they
That's,
tear them up, they fix them.
that's also correct. So. They'd be on the
We
hook.
just prefer not to tear it up at the beginning.
But the binder, the idea of the binder is that it's not gonna tear up the binder, well, the binder would be down, and then you would then fix or they would skim and then put down. a
You're right,
layer
the
with-
binder would be down, you would have a bit of exposed curb, basically flag curb, you'd have a couple inches exposed. I have seen that damaged, chips taken out of that and everything else. My biggest concern honestly was settling.
Doesn't matter. They're not gonna pay for that. They're not gonna mobilize twice. That would be an extra fee. And either way, you're gonna pay
Everything
extra.
be.
Right, and that may be more,
Exactly.
that may be more than the $8,000. That could be more than the $8,000.
We knew all the options when this all started.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
It's just kind of
Obviously, but
odd that we never put all of our delays into thinking that it was gonna hit us that winter. I don't think any of us ever thought of that at all, that it was gonna hit us.
it's, if our gas was run there, then this would be. This
Do you
would
ever
not
see
even
any
be the
construction that
situation
went
we're in.
off on
Right.
time?
So, so it's not just one piece of the puzzle, it's 6 pieces of the puzzle.
Well, truthfully,
They all end up perfect.
between the two things, we're talking about $12,000. So it's not a huge, to me, it's not it's
Wait,
better to do
you're
it.
the one that every penny that we say. So
Oh,
$12,000
I do, but you're also talking about a $2 million
Well-
or $3 million project that you're spending an extra $12,000 on. Do the percentage.
$12,000 or it's 200,000.
If you wanted to save the money, you shouldn't have done a project at all, because this is gonna cost the village at least $1 million, if not two.
Oh,
of our
we're well
own money.
over $1 million.
Wait, did you say that I shouldn't have done?
No, I'm saying the village shouldn't have done it.
We're close to 1.8 at this point.
coffee.
Yeah. Get out of there. Well, there you go. Not you personally, anybody who voted for it. And I voted for it too. So there you go. Percentages wise is all
So
I'm saying.
basically, we're just looking for direction for them. Are we okay with delaying it till April?
I think we're
But
kind of- we're kind of forced to.
The change order for
Well,
that is on here, we should pass tonight.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
want to go ahead and do that, you
All
can.
right, hold on.
They asked for it.
Let me make this resolution, make a resolution to approve, or sorry, I make a motion to approve resolution 2570. Authorizing change order number 2 in the downtown, in the rebuild downtown and Main Street Capital Gateway subdivision infrastructure improvements project with Fisher Excavating Incorporated, increasing project costs by $8,463.82 due to increased material prices. But maybe it wasn't labor cost, it was
Second.
prices.
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 25-70 in the amount of $8,463.82. Nathan seconds. We've had lots of discussion. Does anybody want more?
I don't understand why we're voting on a change order for asphalt that isn't gonna be laid for.
Because this is an increase in the price.
I understand, it'll be up next year too.
Okay, but
There's
But
not-
this, at least you're locking in a price now, as opposed to trying to do the change order next year when you lay it.
Or when they have another contract down here, it's beneficial for them to do the work at their convenience, we could get a better price on the asphalt.
Okay. What do you think about that, Matt?
When we bid road projects, that's what they do, we give them a time frame and they bid around us and. I
I agree with you.
This seemed, really.
Or either that or I'm sorry, if we lock in the $3 extra per ton now, are they then required to
I mean,
accept that?
we can, if you wanna go back to them and just tell them at this point, we are gonna wait, and then you just will have to get from them, if there's gonna be an increase at the time they decide to pave, then we're gonna have to get the documentation to determine it.
There's
What?
no MFT funds in this,
No,
No,
so they have no obligation to provide us with an accurate asphalt price ticket when they buy the asphalt. Right? So if we lock in now, and for any reason the price doesn't go up this much, or it goes down a little bit, we're not gonna see the savings, right? They're gonna charge us this amount.
that's correct. As far as I'm concerned, that's correct. I don't see the price going down, but
Oh, no,
Hey.
that's not what the,
you thinking it's not gonna go up that much?
thinking it.
Yes, you are. Just say it if that's what it is. I personally prefer to lock in the change because you know what you're
I'll
gonna
tell
spend.
you, there's risk in everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
there's-
Either way, we have to pay them to do the job. But they now could charge us more money because we put it off.
If-
I mean, we have a contract. So I'm not as quite as 100%. We are asking that, we did ask them to wait.
Yes.
And as far as I'm concerned, when we asked them to wait, they gave us this price, and that's when we said, okay. So I'm not sure how we're gonna now say, I'm sorry, we're not gonna do that.
Well, I think if I'm hearing William correctly, you know, and stuff. We tell them we wanna wait, but we wanna wait and determine what that price is gonna be at the time they pave. Maybe there is some chance that maybe it's,
When that asphalt plant's moving. We start learning what prices are.
Well, how does that work?
Well, you'll get,
Hold on, let's get
well,
an opinion from the attorney, because legally speaking, how does that work?
So if so we had a contract for them to provide whatever materials at whatever time. A delay induced by us has,
Not by us.
I'm
Yes.
sorry,
It is by us because we're asking them to wait.
It was induced by IDOT.
sorry, not induced by the contractor.
All right.
They have
There you
been asked to hold off. So it is whether we want to approach IDOT to cover us or whatever, but it is the contractor will always come back to the project owner and say, okay, we've delayed because of whatever circumstance outside of our control. So it is it does naturally follow that we will pick up the tab for whatever those increased costs are, to the point as to I guess what is the question? Like, why are we doing this 5 months before they actually pave it? I mean, I don't think you legally are required to, if they're willing to honor the price that we buy in now. It's just we're gambling that it's going to be a better price than it would be then. I don't think you're compelled to do this now. They're not doing the work
All
now.
right, so we're, okay, then I guess I should withdraw my motion, right?
Well, if we pass the motion, we're thinking that the cost is gonna go up between now and April. If we don't pass the motion, if you withdraw the motion or we shoot it down, that we're saying that we believe the price may go down between now and then.
Now, if the price goes up more than what we say now, are they gonna come back to us and try to get more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bet,
Yes.
wouldn't you?
But I mean, does,
What's the
I mean-
point of having a contract?
Oh, you mean if you pass this
If we
tonight?
pass
Oh, I'm
this
sorry. I'm sorry.
they can come and ask for more, but we're not obligated to give them.
No,
anymore.
they
It's- we can contract
accepted
as a-
delay for this amount of money, so
That's-
it,
The answer to your question is yes. They would honor this price because you'd be updating the contract right now and they're and saying we'll do this in April or whenever at an increased cost of $3 a ton. Neither side has to make that move now. You could
Yeah, I
authorize
understand
them.
that part. My more concern is that, when we're not ready for this in April or whenever the date is on here, and then they come back and say that they want a little bit more. I mean, I just don't understand, like, one, the timeline that we're on with this, and two, their ability to come back and ask for more. Should they go up $5 a ton or $6 a ton?
right, or they could ask you more for their labor too, so.
Right, yeah, because their labor costs went up, or whatever they wanna ask more for. My biggest concern is that if we say yes to this, that there is no more increases, no matter what happens.
That's
So long as it then proceeds in accordance with whatever the schedule is that everyone anticipates right now. if April rolls around and some other delay says they can't do it till June and June's their busy season, they could, yes, if there are further changes to the schedule or contract, this could change further. This would lock you in for whatever the currently anticipated delay is.
Right, which I don't see anywhere on this form.
I agree with that.
So my concern is that I don't wanna approve something with $8,000, that was, because we didn't get it done this year. And then they come back later and we say, well, there's no date on this, and then they just, April passes and
No,
we're just not breaking ground over there on things or.
That's correct.
Whatever,
That's true. How this came about is they already had the paving scheduled when we had our meeting, correct? They had this paving scheduled and we asked them
Right.
to wait. So I assume come next spring that they'll be ready to pave.
And we can ask them for, if this price is good through the next
End of the
calendar,
project,
till the end of the project, through the next at least through the next calendar year.
calendar year.
Which is kind of, well, that's fine, but
Next
to me,
construction season.
it's irrelevant. They're not going to give you a better price, right?
Well, my concern would be that they didn't come back and say, oh, we underestimated and we're gonna need this to continue. finish the
Yeah,
project.
but once they accept the
And
change
because
to
we
me,
don't have a date on here, we don't have, I mean, whatever's on their schedule isn't on our
right,
schedule.
but let me try to get this correct, state this correctly. They're going to put it into their schedule for next spring/summer when it's at their convenience.
Right.
That's
So
all.
we
I'm
need a
saying.
timeline that's acceptable for us,
Well,
that this can go.
told you,
to this
spring,
meeting.
summer.
right, that is.
Oh, you didn't,
That
I'm
would
sorry,
be
we
the-
couldn't fit you in our schedule on the approved timeline, but now we're gonna ask for more money and then this is our schedule.
No.
That's what I'm fearing.
Well, do you know how they came up with the November or October
I don't know,
late?
I took a calendar and walked through a dark.
Well, when they were available, right? And that's when they were gonna pave it, and that's how they bid it. So,
My concern is that I just need a clarification on a timeline that this bid is good for. Does that make
Well,
sense?
let's take a step back from that, go back to Chris's point. Do we want to take the chance that prices are gonna go up and try to lock in a price now? Or do we want to hold off and just see what the prices will be in the spring?
I mean, prices are gonna go up here. I mean, that's.
I think they're gonna charge you this no matter what, because this is what they gave you. I mean, sorry, let me try that back. They're going to charge this at least this amount no matter what. Because that's what we already said we would do. If it goes up, that's all you got.
I get that this is a change order. They're not doing new business because they're gonna be doing old business with us. So they're gonna charge us to help, whatever to help that business model work out. And whatever, I get change orders and how we charge it.
Right, no, I think they're just anticipating that the price will go up and this is their deal to wait.
I don't have any problem with the extra. I just have a problem with there being no deadline or
Yeah.
date on it.
Yeah,
And I find that to be a little bit.
Well, there was.
We can-
Gray area.
Typically, if.
We can pull it off.
What happens is if you.
No,
approve
let's
this-
vote. If you want to vote it down, but let's vote on it. And then you can, if you want to wait and we end up paying more, that's fine. I think it's silly because the least amount we're gonna pay is $8,463.82. Because that's what we've already told them we're going to pay. So
Well, let's vote.
whether or not this board votes to agree to that doesn't really matter. The only difference is whether or not you end up paying more. Because the price went up higher, or they want to throw in labor costs because they'll be more expensive 6 months from now.
And I wanna hear what Fergie says, but to that note, things that have happened in the parks, because we didn't dot our T's across our I's. Yeah, I know, I said that on purpose. When things aren't specifically put out in a contract, things don't always go as planned, or as what was discussed in the conversation, because it doesn't matter what's in the conversation, it matters what's on the paper of the contract.
I understand.
Right, so it is the date of having specifics that work well for our needs in a contract.
Right.
And I'm sorry for you got
No,
cut off early. I don't
no,
know
you're
what
fine,
you were
you're
gonna
fine.
say.
No,
but-
they're just-
No,
Okay.
They're just never gonna say we're gonna pave it on July 27th or whatever, or June 27th.
Cover the parking. Or is that gonna be a further conversation next year when they say parking?
They're different contractors, so it doesn't
They're
matter.
different contract.
The contract for the infrastructure is on one side, there's contract for the buildings on another.
Two different phases.
Yep.
So we should be able to pay for now. Until next week.
Do you think this will be the last change order? Cause it
No.
won't.
No.
Let's vote.
Any further discussion?
All to order.
Roll call.
John,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
William,
No.
Nathan,
No.
Passes 4-2 at 6:46. 30 means 30. Well, you're having so much fun. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, I make a motion. Yeah, there we go. A motion, motion to approve resolution 2571. Approving and authorizing execution of the independent contractor agreement between the Village of Davis Junction and Safe Step LLC. For the sidewalk walk repair not to exceed $12,500. I added that last bit on there. Everybody. Take it down.
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 25-71. What was the new dollar figure?
$12,500.
$12,500. William seconds.
Just the different mode on that.
Yes. That's more than a dollar.
And we actually have a contract now. Which I thought was, well, never mind. That we get.
Vote on.
We're keeping John up.
He's ready for pizza, sorry.
It has been through the attorneys. It is.
This still is the
Been
same
looked at.
price per square foot for the cut, right?
Yeah.
I was asking him, sorry.
Oh, no, it's just the language has changed.
Right,
We drafted the contract, the business terms were provided in the proposal, and I
Alright.
think we addressed.
so, but the
those.
business terms stay the same for the contract,
Yes,
all right. So we're still paying $15 and change per square foot for the cut sidewalk. To do the repairs so that we eliminate some of the safety hazards. Yes, now we can vote, John.
Any further discussion before we go to vote? Roll call, please.
That's all right, I don't care.
Nathan,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Passes unanimously at 6:48.
We have nothing else to do.
No, not me. I'm done.
No more fire. Patrick?
I don't have anything, Brett.
No, we're pretty quiet out there, just getting ready for the cold that's coming as well, so making some adjustments here and there.
John? Brett, do you have anything? You're a busy man.
Same,
No, Rick.
pretty much same. John.
All right, new business. Mark, were you here yesterday?
yeah, I can provide a little bit of
Please
an
do.
overview. There's a local business, the owner of which is sitting before you tonight. That has applied for various types of zoning relief to this is a bar, DJ Liquors. They're located in a strip mall. They would like to have an outdoor seating area out front, which I can describe a little bit more in a minute. Because they are a liquor licensee, your code requires liquor selling establishments and outdoor seating to obtain a special use permit. So that is that part of the request. Because of the specific layout of the business, they're also requesting a variance, and that's because your code otherwise provides that when a liquor selling business has an outdoor seating area, that outdoor seating area is to be accessed from inside the business, and which makes sense because if you are going in and are carded or there's some age verification, that's done inside and then you proceed out to the seating area. This place, however, only has one door. There is no other entrance or exit. And PZC listened to some testimony from both the tenant and the landlord, explaining that it's, well, not literally impossible to create a secondary opening in the back. It would be ludicrously expensive and require movement of HVAC and electrical and all this stuff. So as a practical matter, they're stuck with one doorway. So if there's only one doorway, you must by definition get to that doorway by entering into the proposed gated off area first. So that's the nature of, they're asking for permission for people to proceed into the outdoor area. Just again, imagine it's out front, it's on the way to the door to the business. So they're not able to fulfill that enter first and then go out to the outdoor seating area. So that's what the variance comes from. And then the site plan approval, which is actually not before the PZC, is just a part of the way your code is laid out that you say that it looks okay. So what's proposed is it's going to be, I think, a 3 or 4 table seating area immediately out front, ringed in by a fence. The original proposal is for sort of a permanent installation. The landlord did not want that, I think largely for snow removal purposes. So in the end, it's going to be a seasonal operation from April through the end of October, actually a few days into November. And the fencing and furniture would be stored and removed in the off season. This was the subject of a hearing that began before the PZC in late October. It was ultimately continued for completion last night. There are a couple of minor changes which I can walk you through. To the PZC resolution was drafted in advance of the October hearing. And then based on the conclusion last night, there were a couple of minor changes. Those minor changes specified the seasonality of the operation. It's going to only be an outdoor thing from April through November 5th. It also detailed the requirement that they've put up a video monitoring system. So the outdoor seating area will be under like a live stream video that streams to a monitor at the bar that not for the customers, but whoever the employee on duty or employees will be able to have live access to seeing exactly who's out there and what they're doing at all times. So that's incorporated into the findings. And then because of the sort of 11th hour tweak it went from a permanent fence to a temporary fence. Essentially, everyone has punted exactly what that is going to look like. The dimensions are going to be the same, but there's some details that need to be worked out between the tenant and landlord as to how that's mounted. The landlord doesn't want there to be holes in the ground when it comes out in November that someone's going to trip on. Presumably the village doesn't want that either. There was a recognition by the PZC that ultimately the fence has to be permitted by the village anyway. So as drafted for you tonight, both the recommendation from the PZC and your ordinance has as one of the conditions on approval that the village get final rights when we see whatever specific unit is going to go in the ground to say yay or nay for aesthetic or other reasons or whatever. So you're sort of reserving judgment on the particulars of the fence. But this is for your consideration of the zoning relief. The PZC ultimately gave a favorable recommendation by a 6-1 vote, with the negative vote actually being your public works director sitting here. So he was there as well for the hearings and certainly could weigh in with any insight or input. And the applicant is here if there's any questions or comments.
What was your concern?
I just want to clarify that I can speak as a PZC member while I'm on the clock as employed. Because I'm not real comfortable with that, but if you're saying it's cool, then I'll do it.
I mean, if we wanted to hear, we would put in the PGC meeting. He's sitting here as a supervisor.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I'm not trying to argue. It's just two separate roles. One's a resident and a PZC member. The other is a public works supervisor. I just don't want to cross lines.
The ultimate, the findings of fact and recommendation are before you or in your packet, and they updated with the notes that I just referenced regarding the seasonality of the application. So that earned the endorsement of the majority or super majority of the PZC.
I'll leave that up to you, Rick. I'm happy, but I
I
don't know what to do here.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I agree with William. You're here as an employee, not as the PZC.
Kind of caught me off guard.
So, I guess I got a question for John, right? That's your name? Yep. Okay, there's a door this, on the sketch of your potential plan. Of the fenced in area, so the fenced in area will have a little gated little area that stops people from coming into they'll have to open this door and then walk through the second door to get into your specific check. So this outside area is contained by a door or some type of swinging gate or something. Okay. And then by law, this is not a smoking area, correct? This is just a seated dining area, right?
It would be subject to the same 15 foot with it, so I don't know if the parameters of that fencing area have any area within it, if it's 15 feet from the door.
Well, 15 feet actually extend out from the entrance of the fenced area.
Right, the fenced area would now be the new 15-foot area.
But beyond that, yes.
Not that it's enforced here.
Here,
This
that's
is
smoking.
typical.
Press.
You don't have to walk in when you're done.
That's interesting. I think that's actually true. It did not come up really one way or the other during the hearing. One of the conditions for all zoning approvals, including this one, that's built in is an obligation to adhere to all applicable statutes, rules, ordinances, or whatever. So I think you're right. We could certainly get clarification on that point, but whatever the law is, yeah, I mean, they're subject to it. Nothing you're gonna do tonight is gonna give them an
I'm not
exemption.
changing the law yet.
Right.
Just clarify.
Thanks.
I mean, the 15-foot rule is subjective only when someone's enforcing it, so.
When someone's watching.
Correct, yeah. Feel me. All right, that's all the questions I got.
Anything further?
You don't need to speak.
What's the purpose of the outdoor? What's the plan?
Should ask Camp Mounts.
For seating, being able to go outside, especially on a nice day, instead of being cooped inside. To be able to have adult beverage out there, serving lunches out there. So we can
Okay,
serve lunch
that
when
looks
it's
like
right.
lunches, because you don't have a meal prep ability. I know you
Right,
serve
right,
whole
right,
meal or prepared.
We do that up at JJ's up in New Milford and then bring it down. It's all approved by Ogle County Health Department.
I don't like the temporary fence idea at all. I remember it when it was up during COVID. I think it was an extreme eyesore. I feel the complaints from neighbors.
Oh, this is gonna be entirely different. Of, what you saw during COVID. This is literally gonna be a 3 to 4 foot fence, aesthetic purposes. Again, it's going to look very nice when it's all said and done.
And as Mark said, we have the final say on that.
I know, but my other concern now is you are now, because of this actually violates, section 4.9A, which is an extreme code that you already referenced, that exterior seating areas must be accessed from inside. That's physically impossible due to the current structure. You are now extending the exit discharge pathway of an emergency exit without knowing the pathway to design the fire life safety codes. I can't even get on board with this yet, because you're now extending the length at which somebody has to get out of a building. You cannot have an exit discharge path into an enclosed area. It's against the fire life safety code. So you have to prove that it doesn't, by adding this fenced in area, you're not extending the discharge path that is beyond the legal limit.
But that would be up to him to prove to the state, right?
No. Our code,
It's our code, the life safety code is our code.
life safety, fire code, mechanical code,
Then-
building code.
Then our
Well, we
permitting
shouldn't
people
worry
would be
about it
the
in our
one.
own event.
But our permitting people would be the one that then enforces that. Sorry, let me step back. Who enforces that?
We do the village.
But the permitting people should be the
Yeah,
ones
that's
checking the code as they.
Yeah, but that's our permitting people, right?
Yes.
Because we don't actually.
But if
go-
we approve this, then would that not supersede our own?
No, you can't, no, so the zoning approval is exactly that, it stays in its own lane, it's saying that you guys granted an alteration from the normally applicable zoning code requirements that would allow this, well, I shouldn't say allow this to occur, you grant it from a zoning perspective. In all projects, whether we were talking about a giant building or a simple fence, the act of zoning relief is not the same as the right to put a shovel in the ground and start building. You have to come back for permits. If there are, any number of things. In this case, because it's a fairly simple project, probably the fence permit is all that's required. But before that would issue. Certainly, I assume as part of that, there is a review, whether it's by BNF or whoever you
Right,
guys
basically
use
BNF.
that verifies that it's code compliant, and if it's not, they can have their approval, but they can't do what they want to do anyway.
How do you issue a fence permit on a temporary fence that's not only of 6 months to come down? You gotta come every year for a fence permit, a temporary permit? That almost seems like another.
I wouldn't think so. I think it'd be enough to have the knowledge to know how that fence is gonna be erected and be able to take care of it one way or the other. But I think at that same point, they'll be looking at the same thing you said, the life safety. Because that will definitely be a point they should look at.
The only, and
We would make a resident, anytime they put up a fence, take it down, we can make them redo a permit every single time.
On a temporary fence, do we do that?
That's my question, why?
I have no idea, because I don't know anybody, no resident that puts up a
So
temporary.
how does the removable fence for the outfield work?
We're
we have a movable fence out there?
Well, snow
Those guys
fences
do.
go up every season and people don't post us to think of it that
Well,
way.
I'm not, because it's gotta have some kind of permanent fixture to it, and it's gotta be set up to where it can be erected and disassembled without having to re-permit it, 'cause it's already permitted on that form, on the way it's being constructed.
Right.
I mean, I gotta believe be enough. When it gets to the
Figure it out.
permitting phase, that they would know
But
that.
then. You're never gonna change material, it'll be the exact same fence every single year, it'll never change design, you're not gonna change a single inch. I don't buy that.
And what if something goes bad or you can't get a replacement
I
part
don't
of
buy
that?
that.
We're just gonna allow them to reconstruct whatever they feel.
I would not go along with reconstructing at their own will.
I mean, most.
Therefore, then we should probably at least have some type of
Is
check again at once.
isn't that something that falls within their purview is to check to make sure people are following codes? So if it doesn't get put up, if it doesn't get put up the same way, then that would be an issue for them. I mean, that's,
But if they're not going specifically to inspect it, then they would not necessarily have the knowledge of.
but
it
there's,
being
but
changed.
they're supposed to catch any deviations from the buildings. code or from
Drive
our
the
code.
subdivision.
I guarantee
that-
that they don't catch everything.
Of course they don't. I'm just saying that is one of their
And being
responsibilities.
able to view something from their street while they drive by, because all they do is drive around or something.
I understand. This one
They
is
drive
gonna,
down 72,
this one won't be
65.
hiding. It'll be
They're
right out
probably
front.
not gonna be the-
Well, I mean, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, the most straightforward way to do this would be say, yes, apply for a permit each time if you wanna make sure that it's the same thing. It's not gonna be a tremendous burden if it's the same thing, they're just gonna submit the same plan that already has a stamp on it.
Right.
Somebody will look at it for 4 seconds, say this is the same,
Make
okay?
sure the pictures match from last year to this year and then.
I don't know. I get annoyed at having to pay a fee every time. That's just, I think that's
I mean, can you
ridiculous.
work something out with them? So
That's
that way
fine.
it's not burden upon the
That's fine with
the
me.
facility owner either, that, you know, hey, maybe we do a special thing or something like that for each of those yearly comebacks, but it definitely needs to be done exactly the same each time.
That's
Or at least what has been approved the
Right,
first time.
it has to meet the construction drawings.
Are we approving something or what?
Yeah,
Exactly
you're
what?
approving the zoning.
We're voting
Well,
on their record.
it doesn't, is this a motion then or
There's
did I miss that part?
there's an ordinance before you that is drafted in consistently with the PZC's recommendation. It's drafted in the affirmative. Passing the ordinance would grant them a special use to have a outdoor seating area of any kind.
So who made that motion? Who?
You know what? I don't think anybody's.
We don't have a motion in section yet.
I don't know.
Do we
We
need
just
one?
got a discussion.
We did,
All right.
we got a little overzealous.
Well, if somebody wants to make that, then we could do whatever. I'm not sure what you're asking for, so I'm not going to.
So you're looking for, I make a motion to grant the approval of a special permit conditionally authorizing DJ Liquors to operate an outdoor seating area as a special accessory use, approving variance authorizing direct access to outdoor seating area and providing site plan approval, DJ Liquors Inc., 5657 North Junction Way.
Second.
What's the ordinance number?
That's not there.
2525,
So it's on the packet if we still have that. Okay.
it's on here.
Adding that.
No, the one that was sitting on the desk, sorry.
I didn't get it.
It was,
Oh, that's the point.
oh, that's a resolution.
second.
All right,
That's the PZC's findings.
all right.
And this is the actual ordinance, 2525.
Adding ordinance 2525 to that motion.
This wasn't passed by the PZC till last night.
As stated, huh?
It's a recommendation. Not really.
In my opinion, front-loaded seating area is designed in downtown walkable districts where you're going from storefront to storefront. Putting a outdoor seating in front of a strip mall that you have to drive and commute to is aesthetically not pleasing. It's disruptive to the neighboring businesses, and it just doesn't look professional or good in our area.
Oh, we got, John made a motion to approve our ordinance number 2525 is what the ordinance number is. Chris seconded. That's discussion.
Williams a hard no.
And if I read this correctly, 16 feet from the building and then a 3-foot little walkway is what we're left with. Right, they're gonna for someone to squeeze inside with their little wheelchair to get by if we need to.
It's ADA compliant, the 36 inches is what.
Yeah, we're maxing it out here, but yes, it is, it's to the end of the, yes.
Right, I'm not defending,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know,
answering, I'm
I
just
know.
responding.
I know, I'm just clarifying for my brain how this is gonna look.
Not low.
I mean, it's already some vacancies, but at least.
Yeah, the
That's something-
the bank would be closed and Subway would be gone, so I don't really know what it would restrict.
Any new tenant that would wanna come in.
Oh, maybe they,
I
yeah,
mean, but that's. I
Let's-
mean,
let's
yeah,
vote.
that's-
Let's
that's a
vote.
question For.
Yeah.
We'll give people a chance to speak.
Fill in those holes and.
Same thing.
I understand. Anything further? Let's vote, roll call.
William, Nathan,
Yes.
John,
yes.
Patrick,
No.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Motion
Yes.
passes 4-2 at 7:07.
You have the card for BNF. Our code enforcement.
Vince?
I'd recommend grabbing one of those on the way out, so you don't waste any time if this is gonna get shut down by an ordinance that's already in place. I would contact them. I hate to go this any farther, as William's pretty well known on these types of things. I would definitely check into that before, I mean, our approval might not mean anything to.
I don't believe it will exceed. I mean, what's the distance from the front door to the back of the building? About 30 feet.
I think about 35 feet.
From the front entrance way, from the door to the fence, as opposed to how long?
16 feet.
You want.
It's, the front door to the back is 40 feet, 7 inches.
Everything's good.
I wouldn't think.
All right. New business is done, unfinished business.
There, we do have something.
Oh my God.
Hey, Verizon wants to put new equipment on the antenna, or on the water tower.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I forgot I sent that to you.
yeah, thanks, by the way.
It's enough, Shane.
I don't think we have a choice personally. Personally, I'm pretty sure it's written in their contract that they can switch out equipment as they need to, right?
Only after they bring their property up in compliance first.
Hold on, let's hear what he has to say.
I mean, I will have to look if it's typically it's in the lease that they can replace equipment, though subject to technical reviews to make sure
Yeah.
it doesn't interfere.
All
We
right.
can drag our feet on that.
Well, the lady called me to say that they wanted it approved by the board, which I thought was kind of silly because
Not very cooperative.
well, she's not the person. She's not a lawyer. She's just like some project person. And she sent a list of what they want to change out. And to me, they're just upgrading their current equipment. And I don't see, and I think I've read their lease over it before. And that's within their lease as far as I'm concerned, but I'll definitely, if
We'll look at it.
and we'll send it to you.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell us whether or not the board needs to approve it, or if it's just part of the lease and we don't really have an option. Just let us know. Personally, to me, Verizon's been a pain, but we're not getting rid of them. So allowing them to upgrade the equipment for the people who use it isn't.
Beneficial.
If
Well,
you have a voice person conflict, though, the other stuff might not be a bad way of
No, it ain't
getting
gonna make.
the other stuff through.
you know, they just think they're the 900-pound gorilla or whatever in the room, and they're not doing anything they don't have to do.
Sure.
Jen, have you had a different experience
It's
with
just now's the time to ask.
No, I'm the same as you are.
You know, it would, if we actually had the ability to tell them no, I would ask them. So I'll send it to you guys.
Yep.
Unless you already have it. I don't know if you do or not.
I don't either.
Oh,
I don't know.
all
either.
right.
They have, I should have.
Dan, to see what.
Did you get it?
I got it,
Oh,
send it to
all
me.
right. All right, so one of us could forward it to Dan or whoever for the attorneys to look at to see if it's just part of their regular lease, which I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I've read it. And changing out updating their equipment. I
That'd be
don't-
typical. I mean,
Yeah, it would be typical, and it's unless it interferes with somebody else's, which is a concern of mine because we just negotiated the new,
LR.
yeah. So, and which I actually told the lady on the phone, I said, you know, if it interferes with the other tenants up there, and LR does the sheriff's department stuff,
They
right?
don't make flapping.
So we can't have them interfering with that, but otherwise,
yeah, typically these would be conditioned on an advanced technical review.
right.
But if it doesn't, typically if it doesn't
Well-
interfere.
No, and she
Yeah.
said to me that it shouldn't, that there's none of their stuff, they have to do it everywhere, so it's not,
Verizon's below, LR's on top. Right.
no, I don't have no.
Verizon's the antenna
A
around
lot of, yes.
and stuff.
So
they
you're
have stuff
saying you
down
want
the
to
base.
interfere? Cause LR Communications was very upset when we negotiated with them about whether or not somebody was gonna interfere with their stuff.
I'm not 100% certain.
I think Verizon has stuff in the base
Well,
and then
that's
they're
the-
below the tank. And the
Yeah.
LR's on top. They have equipment down below and then.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a frequency problem that the frequencies would interfere with each other, I thought.
Yeah,
And I believe that they all avoid that as it is.
Yeah, and that's the way she made it sound to me is like they specifically went out of their way to avoid any emergency broadcast or emergency, you know, communications equipment, so I didn't see it as an issue. But I will send it to them. I just wanted to keep the whole board informed that Verizon is asking to change out their equipment. I hope it betters their signal because it's not the greatest.
So Patrick, the other one on here, I'm sure you're surprised to see it's still there. But Lisa does have an update.
Yes, I mailed out the agreement back to Mrs. and Mr. Luxton. And she did come to the office, but she had questions on the agreement. She didn't want to, iffy about signing something. She just wanted to make sure she had understanding before signing it. So I told her she could highlight it and if she wanted to read, she can, or if she showed the highlighted stuff, then we can answer her questions. So I can call her and make contact with her next week and follow up with her.
What is this? Is this that culvert? Is this an easement for a?
For a water spigot.
Okay.
So that's the update on that. Public. Moving on.
Motion to adjourn.
Right.
Patrick makes a motion to adjourn, John seconds. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned at 7:13.